What? I'd like to bring this meeting to order. It's November 8, 2021. Tonight, our invocation will be provided by Councilman Charles McCorkle, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, which will be led by Councilwoman Christina Polish. If you would, please stand with me.
Let us pray. Lord, we come to you today, God, just asking you, Lord, to give us guidance. We come to thank you for what you've done. We pray, God, as we rule this city, Lord, that you will tell us exactly what we need to do. We pray that you will bless the people, but they will be able to hear and see what things are being done in this city. In his name we pray, amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. As we recognize our veterans, we had a veteran leading us tonight in the pledge, so thank you. Next up is to set the agenda. We have one addition to the agenda under new business, and that would be the lease for Dr. Catherine Peterson and Municipal Complex, and that will be led by Marie Anders. Any other changes to the agenda? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve. Motion by Mr. Moore, second by Ms. Polish. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Motion passes. Thank you. There are 5 items on the consent agenda. Are there any questions? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda. A motion by Ms. Shoemaker, second by Mr. McCorkle. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Motion passes. If anyone's wishing to speak tonight under unscheduled public comment, there is a sign-up sheet. When you come in the door, I would encourage you to go ahead and sign up on that sheet if you haven't already. Next is a presentation of the North Carolina DOT road dedication to honor the memory of Officer Tyler Herndon. I would ask the council, if you would, join me on the floor. So tonight is a special night. We have Brad Lell from North Carolina Department of Transportation. So I want to thank Representative John Torbett, his wife Vidya, for the leadership that they're providing in getting the naming of this road of 273, this portion, for Officer Tyler Herndon. His leadership, what got us to this point, that's the fastest any road has been named for a fallen officer in North Carolina history. So that's an amazing job, and I think we should give him a hand for that leadership. So I'm going to ask Mr. Lale if you would come up, and I'm going to turn the program over to you.
Thank you, Mayor and Council and members of the public and the Herndon family. It's my privilege to be here. My name is Brad Lale. I am the Board of Transportation representative for this area, Gaston County, Lincoln County, Catawba County, Alexander County, and Rowan County. I'm here to present the Officer Tyler A. Herndon Highway on North Carolina 273 from the southern city limits of Mount Holly near Interstate 85 North to the intersection with Morningside Drive. It is an honor to be here to name this highway after Officer Herndon, who dedicated himself to protect the citizens of Mount Holly and the state of North Carolina. This resolution was passed at the State Board of Transportation meeting in April of this year, and I would like to read this resolution. A resolution for Officer Tyler A. Herndon, Highway. Whereas Tyler A. Herndon was born in Charlotte, North Carolina, and moved to Kings Mountain in 1998. And whereas Herndon attended Kings Mountain High School, graduated from Cleveland Community College, and then earned a criminal justice degree from the University of North Carolina at Charlotte. And whereas Officer Herndon began his law enforcement career with the Mount Holly Police Department in January of 2019, and whereas Officer Herndon formed a strong bond with his co-workers and with people in the community he served, and whereas Officer Herndon distinguished himself by acts of kindness and community service, reflecting well on Mount Holly and projecting a positive image of the Mount Holly Police Department. And whereas Officer Herndon was tragically killed in the line of duty responding to a breaking and entering call on December 11th, 2020. And whereas the Mount Holly City Council respectfully requests the North Carolina Department of Transportation to designate a road in memory of Officer Tyler A. Herndon as a way to honor and memorialize his contributions to the citizens of Mount Holly and the state of North Carolina. Now therefore be it resolved that the North Carolina Board of Transportation designates North Carolina Highway 273 from the southern city limits of Mount Holly near Interstate 85 North to the intersection with Morningside Drive, the Officer Tyler A. Herndon Highway. The sign will be erected at a suitable time, and I'd like to invite my, also joining us from NCDOT, Mark Stafford and Blake Guffey. Mark's going to come up. This is a replica of the sign that will be erected. How about joining me in a round of applause? I'd like to invite the chief and the Herndon family forward, please, to the sign. Chief, would you like to speak?
Thank you, sir. And on behalf of the Mount Holly Police Department, first of all, welcome to our honored guests, the Herndon family. So glad that you are here with us. You're part of our family, and we're grateful to have you here. Mayor, members of council, thank you for your support for the Mount Holly Police Department. Members of the community, this has all been a part of the healing process, and we committed ourselves to make sure that Officer Herndon would always be remembered. And now, whenever we're riding up and down the road on Highway 273, folks will be talking about Officer Tyler Herndon, and that's helps us to fulfill that commitment that we owe him. And the great honor that was left to us was to remember him and to always remember his sacrifice and his service. And I want to thank Representative John Torbett and his wife Vidya for their unwavering support and hard work to make sure that this happened. They understand that this is also a part of the healing process, not only for the Mount Holly Police Department, but for our community as well. So thank you so much. Thank you. Mr. Mayor, I'd like to invite Mark Herndon to come up, and he would like to say just a couple of words.
Sorry. You know, it's almost been a year. It's almost been a year next month, and it seems like it was yesterday. I'm just grateful for the NCDOT, Mr. Mayor and the council, our second family, the police department, on doing this for our son. Like the chief says, I just don't want his name to be, I want him to be remembered. Because it's been hard on us, y'all. Me personally, I break down at least two or three times a week because I miss him so much. But I just want to say thank y'all to keep his name going. Really appreciate it. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Herndon family. We pray for you daily for healing, and you're always welcome here. So thank you. Now, if I can get it together, we'll do the rest of it, right? That's fun. Tonight, we get to swear in a new firefighter, Hayden Kish. Hayden, would you come forward, please?
Mayor, City Council, Herndon family. I'll speak here in just in a minute, but from the fire department, you know, our heart goes out to you as well. Our guys did everything they could that night, and some of them are standing in this room tonight. So this is also a special, you know, moment for us to be a part of such a momentous and meaningful event tonight. So, tonight, Hayden Kish. He is our newest firefighter. He's been in the fire service since 2017. We were able to wrestle him away from the city of Hickory to come. He is a resident and born and raised here in Gaston County. And so we're thrilled to have him here to join us. His father is going to be pinning him after he takes his oath. And his badge has a number on it, just like my badge has a number on it. That number is significant. It will stay with Hayden his entire career in the fire department here. You know, so hopefully one day he gets promoted to captain and then deputy chief, and maybe even one day chief. But that will be his number. It will never be given to anyone else. So at this time, Mayor.
It's my pleasure. Please raise your right hand and place your left hand on the Bible. Hayden Kish, do you solemnly swear that you will support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America and the state of North Carolina against all enemies, both foreign and domestic, and you will faithfully and impartially discharge your duties as a firefighter of the City of Mount Holly under the appointment of the City of Mount Holly to the laws of North Carolina to the best of your skills and abilities, so help you God?
Yes, sir, I do.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Yes, sir. I never thought when I saw Hayden playing football with my son that I'd get to swear him in as a firefighter. He still is big when he played. Next, I'd like to call forward Fire Captain Patrick Mayhew for promotion.
Look sharp, sir. Patrick Mayhew, he came to us in 2018, was one of the firefighters that we hired from the SAFER grant that we were awarded. And he served as a firefighter, was very thorough in his job. Never have to worry about him. He doesn't goof off. He's always business. And it went to show that at the time how serious he was is when he went for the captain's promotional process. He did such an outstanding job. And even as he was right before the day, I think it was the day before we had the promotional process, he commanded a fire ground and did a really exemplary job. And so it was actually kind of auditioned for the job before he got the job. So, you know, talking about history, Mayor, believe it or not, I was at the fire station working when his dad and mom brought him by the fire station from the hospital when he was born. So it's kind of surreal to be standing here next to him. But he is definitely an asset, just as each one of these firefighters at the back of the room are. They serve our citizens boldly every single day, and Captain Mayhew was working on the night of your son's passing. So at this time, Mayor, turn it over to you.
Absolutely, it'd be my pleasure. Captain Mayhew, please place your left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that you will support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America and the state of North Carolina against all enemies, both foreign and domestic, and you will faithfully and impartially discharge your duties as a captain of the City of Mount Holly under the appointment of the City of Mount Holly to the laws of North Carolina to the best of your skills and abilities, so help you God?
I do. Thanks, sir. Thank you. Appreciate it.
His dad will be pinning him, Terry Mayhew, and he's also here with his mom.
Thanks, man. I knew they wanted congratulations too. Thank you. I know you're proud. Yeah. Hey, Council, if you would join me back up. Would y'all like for me to take a 5-minute break so you can file out? Is that okay? All right, we'll take a 5-minute break. You guys go ahead. I know the Boy Scouts would like to get up here without such a big audience, so. Thank you. We appreciate you.
Everywhere. Everywhere.
You know, he was really short tonight, which normally he'll get in, and it takes him a minute to get going, but
I couldn't do it either.
I would be, if that happened with my kids, I don't know if I could even come out of the house. Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna go talk to him.
That's the motorcycle we won that they gave to us, the police motorcycle. Yeah, because I walked in and I said, "Is that my motorcycle?" And Amy said, "If you can get on it, it's yours." I said, "That thing I would turn over in a heartbeat. I couldn't even hold that thing up." So the chief said, he said, "You want to go for a ride after the meeting?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "You got coat?" I said, "I don't need a coat. I'll be good." I said, "I was kind of thinking that you could ride me in a parade on that." I told him that years ago. My friend had a motorcycle with a sidecar. And I rode in the front.
Time sitting there looking at it.
I gotta find a car.
He's a little cutie too.
I think I'm gonna try to get my friend.
We can get our husbands to drive us.
Okay. Let's do that.
Is this
I
for,
like that idea.
absolutely, for the shift? Yeah.
I remember. I know she did. Well, look, I'm gonna.
Oh, they're up.
Have a little stop in between, so I don't have to keep bending.
So the signs are already up
I wonder if Sherry got
It's like 7 o'clock.
magnetic signs.
at tonight. So y'all, just so you know, they took the signs are up. They uncovered the signs at 7 tonight.
Okay,
But Mr. Lale may not have been aware of it. He was told that.
pretty awesome. I'll go home that way then.
So you can see.
Hey, Chief, will you let the Herndons know the signs have been unveiled? They're up.
That's what Mark Stafford did.
Mark Stafford, the gentleman that's with the DOT, told us when he got here tonight. Thank you.
You're not gonna have some kind of ceremony?
Next is a presentation of Eagle Scout project for Tuckasegee Park. William Andrews after Mark Jusko.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Mr. Andrews is here to talk about his Eagle Scout project at Tuckasegee Park. He presented the project to the Parks and Recreation Commission at their October 26th meeting, and their idea was approved unanimously. So, Mr. Andrews, come on up.
Yes, I wanted to thank everybody for being here tonight. And my name is Greer Andrews with Boy Scout Troop 56 in Belmont, North Carolina. Our scout hut is located right behind First United Methodist Church in Belmont.
I just want to tell you, thank you for being one of the first people to get up there and actually know how to use that.
Yeah, I was a little nervous.
Everybody
on
else
not
has
how
been
to use
older
it.
than you. They don't know what to do.
Well, a little about myself. My name is Greer Andrews. I've been with Troop 56 since I was a Cub Scout. I'm 17 years old. I've lived in Belmont my whole life, and I'm a senior at South Point High School and hope to graduate next year. My scout troop meets at the scout hut behind First United Methodist Church. I'm currently finishing up my Eagle project, and my project is I'm built 20 birdhouses in Tuckasegee Park all around. And I've been working with Larry Capps with PAWS, which stands for Piedmont Area Wildlife Stewards. And I finished up my project and now to seek approval. And once my project is approved, this is from earlier, I made a new one. And they're specifically designed for bluebirds, sparrows, and smaller birds. The conduit poles they're mounted on are 10 feet tall, or the birdhouses are 10 inches tall and 6 inches wide. They're made of cedar wood and put together with wood screws mounted on a 7-foot conduit pole, 2 inches in the ground, and 5 feet is exposed for the birdhouses to be mounted on. And they are out of reach of predators, and they're also located where the grass will not be mowed around them, so there's no risk of them getting knocked down. And it's necessary for the importance of the birdhouses is to give the birds a place to roost, and for the ones that have been forced out of their natural habitats from all the new houses being built around here. And they'll provide safety for the birds and from the predators, and they'll also allow them to have more permanent homes opposed to living in trees with the new construction sites all around them, the new house buildings. And I want to thank you for your time and letting me present my project, and I hope to seek approval from this project. And then here's a couple pictures. And that first picture on the left is that was October 30th. Me and Larry Capps met at Tuckasegee Park at 7:30 in the morning to mount them, and my father, my grandpa, and my uncle with the Belmont Fire Department. He's the chief of there. And then on that right, that's me and my uncle putting together the birdhouses. And then that picture on the left, that's my cousin Clayton. He also came out and helped me with the project. And that's us putting all of them together. And then the picture on the right is all of the birdhouses put together, but they're not mounted on the poles yet. And then on the left picture, that is my father drilling the hole where the birds will enter the birdhouse. And then the picture on the right is also my cousin and my uncle. And then on the right, that is Larry Capps with paws. And again, I just wanted to thank you for your time, for letting me present my project, and I hope to seek approval.
All right. Thank you. Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Williams, or Andrews? Sorry, I saw your first name. It's Mr. Andrews. Hearing none, entertain a motion for approval. Motion by Mr. Meadows, second by Mr. McCorkle. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Motion passes. Did you have a question?
Just curiosity, how did you
Okay.
pick Tuck Park?
Sir?
How did you pick Tuck Park?
I was just talking to Larry Capps and I asked him some locations around here, and that was just the closest one where I live at. And since I had to be there so early in the morning to put him in there, it was just the closest area available to me.
You know, Larry, he's with the chamber. He's a guy that takes a lot of pictures. He's very involved. He's been talking to me about it for really a couple of years. So it's fantastic. Thanks for what you've done and continue to do, and good luck to you.
Oh, thank you. And also, you'll probably be getting a couple more projects in here in the next years from him also, because I have a younger brother who's about to start his Eagle project, and Larry said he was going to give him a project for here in Mount Holly to do also.
Fantastic. Well, we'll take all the birds.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Next, presentation of the Eagle Scout project at Mountain Island Park, Mount Holly Mountain Bike Trails. Nathan Legnowski. Did I do that okay? Legnowski. Okay. Come on up, buddy. After Mark will introduce you. Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Lubnowski is
Come on up. You can step with him.
proposing to construct an archway at the entrance to the mountain bike trails at Mountain Island Park. He presented this idea to the Parks and Recreation Commission at their October 26th meeting, and the idea was approved unanimously. So right now he'll talk about the archway.
Hi everyone, my name is Nathan Legnowski. I'm also with Troop 56 and I go to South Point High School with Greer. I'm 17. I'll be graduating this year hopefully. And this project's going to be I'm hoping this will be my Eagle project. So my plan is to build an archway. It'll look similar to the rendering up to on the bottom right. It's going to be about a half mile into the Carolina Thread Trail. It'll there'll be a picture on this next slide of where it'll be located, and there was also some concerns about the Duke Energy supposed to be working on the dam, but it's a lot further down. There shouldn't be any problems with that. And my goal is to have this done within 2 to 3 weeks of its approval. And this next slide is the map of where I'm going to be building it. It'll be down where the project site is circled down at the bottom. And then the dam's up that end, so there shouldn't be any problems with that. And I have some construction plans here of how the archway is going to be built. We plan to have it around 8 feet or 9 feet tall, and it's going to be about 7 feet wide. And it'll have I found a cedar like log, and it's split in half, and that'll be what the sign's going to be made of. And then I'll also have a bench and kiosk there. This is a construction plan of the bench. It'll be about 8 feet wide. And then the kiosk will be about 6 feet tall. And it'll be about, I believe it's 4 feet wide. That's all I have for today. Thank you for letting me present today, and I hope you approve this.
Okay. Thank you. Does anyone have any questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion for approval. Motion by Mr. Moore, second by Mr. McCorkle. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Motion passes. Thank you. Good luck. We appreciate what you're doing for our town. Thank you so much. And we're sure you'll graduate, so don't worry about that.
Great. Did you? Is yours?
Anybody signed up, Chief? Nobody? Okay. All right, next on our agenda is a presentation of the 2020-2021 audit, Martin Starnes and Associates. Can one of y'all come back and help her? See what happens when they get over 21, they don't know what to do.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Claire Chase, and I was a senior on the 2021 Mount Holly audit with Martin Starnes and Associates. Just wanted to thank you for having us as your auditor for another year. It's really good to be here in person again. And I just want to thank Michelle and all of her staff. They did a really great job with just working with us to get the report out on time. This data is as of 6/30/21, and the report was sent to the LGC, or the Local Government Commission, on October 18th and has already been approved as of November 2nd. So there was an unmodified opinion on the financial statements, and that's the best opinion we can give in an audit. It means that you pass the audit or that the financials are not materially misstated as presented to the reader. So here's your fund balance for the general fund. As you can see, it's been steadily increasing. In 2019, there was about $13.3 million of fund balance. In 2020, about $14.5 million. And in 2021, about $17.3 million, or about a $2.9 million increase, or 20%. So your fund balance serves as a measure of the city's financial resources available. And this is calculated as your assets plus your deferred outflows, less your liabilities, less deferred inflows. There's 5 classifications of fund balance, which is your non-spendable, restricted, committed, assigned, and unassigned. And if you look in your audit report after this, you can see that on your Exhibit C, and you can also see this broken down in the notes to the financial statements. So here's some numbers. So your total fund balance is $17.3 million. Your non-spendable is about $154,000. Your restricted fund balance is $3.2 million. Committed is $1 million. Assigned is $2 million, giving you an unassigned fund balance of about $10.8 million, which is an increase of about $2.5 million from prior year, and in 2020 that unassigned amount was $8.4 million. So this is an increase of about 30% overall. So your available fund balance as defined by the LGC is calculated as your total fund balance, less your non-spendable, less your PAL bill, less your stabilization by state statute, and that's what gives you your available fund balance. And so this is the calculation utilized as the basis for comparing you to other units and calculating your fund balance percentages. So here's the actual calculation, and this is your available fund balance as a percent of expenditures and transfers to other funds for the general fund. So you see in 2019 this was about 91%, in 2020 87%, and in 2021 it was 110%. So 8% is approximately a month's worth of expenses, so you can see that for 2021 the city had about 13 months worth of fund balance. Here's a 2-year comparison for the general fund. So in 2020, your available fund balance was about $11.8 million. Your total expenditures and transfers out was about $13.5 million, giving you the 87%. And then in 2021, your available fund balance was $14 million. Your total expenditures and transfers out was about $12.7 million, and that's your 110%. So this percentage just shows you how much fund balance is available to cover your expenditures and transfers out of the general fund. Here's a general fund summary of your revenues and expenditures. So you can see that your revenues increased from about $14.6 million in 2020 to about $15.6 million in 2021. So this 7%, or about $1 million increase, is largely due to your ad valorem tax revenue and also your unrestricted intergovernmental revenue. Additionally, your expenditures decreased from about $13.5 million in 2020 to about $12.7 million in 2021. So this 5% decrease, or about $730,000 decrease, is mainly due to a decrease in capital outlay within the administration department. Here's your top 3 revenues broken down by percentage. So you can see if that $15.6 million, about 56% is ad valorem taxes, about 29% is your unrestricted intergovernmental, about 6% is your permits and fees, and about 9% is made up of other revenues, which includes things like other taxes and licenses, restricted intergovernmental, sales and services, investment earnings, and also your just miscellaneous revenues. So here's specifically your ad valorem taxes. You can see that in 2020, this amount was about $8 million, and it increased to $8.8 million in 2021. This is about a 9.7% increase, and your tax rate remained the same from 2020 to 2021, so the increase is mainly due to current year discoveries. Here's your unrestricted intergovernmental amounts. So for 2020, this amount was $4.1 million and increased to about $4.5 million in 2021. This increase of about $350,000 or 8% is mainly due to an increase in local option sales taxes. Your permits and fees also increased from about $909,000 in 2020 to about $964,000 in 2021. This $55,000 or 6% increase is mainly due to recycle and solid waste fees and tipping fees. For your general fund expenditures of $12.7 million, about 43% of this is for public safety. About 16.2% is transportation and environmental protection. About 26% is other expenditures, and 15% is general government. So other expenditures are made up of planning and zoning, garage, and culture and rec. The percentages in these slides do not include debt service, but in the slides going forward, it will include debt service amounts. So your public safety expenditures decreased from about $6.1 million in 2020 to about $6 million in 2021. This is $129,000 or 2% decrease, and we would consider this comparable to prior year. And all these figures you can see on Schedule 1 in your schedules and the financial statements in your audit report. For your general government expenditures, this decreased as well from about $2.5 million in 2020 to about $2.1 million in 2021. This decrease of $400,000 or 16% is mainly due to a decrease in capital outlay for your administration department. Transportation and environmental protection expenditures also decreased from about $2.5 million in 2020 to about $2.4 million in 2021. This decrease of $102,000 or 4% is mainly due to a decrease in PAL bill expenditures. Here are some water and sewer fund results. So if you look at your operating revenues, you can see that these increased from about $7.4 million in 2020 to $8.7 million in 2021. This $1.3 million or 18% increase is mainly due to an increase in charges for services due to water and sewer rate increases. Additionally, your non-operating revenues also increased from about $208,000 to $347,000. This $139,000 or 67% increase is due to a $116,000 FEMA grant in 2021. You also saw about an $82,000 increase in capital outlay expenditures and a $19,000 decrease in your debt service expenditures. The other expenditures increased from about $4.8 million in 2020 to about $6.3 million in 2021, which is a $1.4 million or 30% increase. Your other expenditures include things like salaries and benefits, supplies, repairs and maintenance, and other operating expenditures. On your full accrual statements, which is full accrual exhibits, which is Exhibits H in your financial statements, that shows an operating income of $2.8 million as opposed to $1.1 million in 2020, which is about a $1.6 million increase, which again is due to an increase in your charges for services. And then the unrestricted net position remained comparable to prior year, both at about $12.5 million. This is a 3-year comparison for the water and sewer funds, and is the quick ratio, which is calculated as your liquid assets divided by your current liabilities. So this quick ratio measures how many times your current assets are able to cover current liabilities or the ability to meet your short-term liabilities. So the city can cover its current liabilities with current assets about 34 times. The LGC is normally concerned with units with a quick ratio below 1, and the city has 34. Additionally, the LGC is normally concerned about units with a negative cash flow, but the city's cash flow is positive. Here's some rate calculations for the water and sewer fund. So the first one shows your operating net income excluding depreciation and debt service. So we can see a steady increase from 2019 of about 1.9 million. To 2 million in 2020 to about 3.6 million in 2021. So this, a negative balance here would indicate that the rates are not covering expenditures, but the city has a positive balance. The next calculation is taking your unrestricted cash divided by your total expenses less depreciation and debt service principal. This was about 200% in 2019, 204% in 2020, and about 185% in 2021. This indicator calculates how many months worth of expenses a unit can pay based on the amount of unrestricted cash at year end. So a typical billing cycle is 1 month or 8.3%, and 1 extra month usually gives the local government enough cash to handle the usual monthly expenses of about 16.6%. But this 16% would be the bare minimum to keep the fund from experiencing cash flows, and the city has a percent of 185. This is a new slide that would not have seen in the past. So something that we submit along with the audit is called the data input sheet. And this is just financial information, and Michelle reviews it and certifies it, and we're required to submit it with our audit. And something new that they've added this year is called a performance indicators tab. And there are different things, if they're highlighted on here after we've entered the information, we're required to discuss them at the presentation. So if there's any questions after that, feel free to email me or ask at the end of this. So the first one that I'm required to discuss is an indicator of concern. So in 2021, the city of Mount Holly was on the LGC's unit assistance list. And basically the LGC has a list that they keep tabs on for units with repeat issues. And I've seen in the past, in 2020, the audit was submitted late and there was a finding. However, we really wanted to note that the city has made tremendous improvement in 2021. The audit was submitted prior to 10/31, so just a lot of improvement there. We're also required to discuss in presentations any findings now. So note that the city did have 2 findings. There's 2 levels of findings. There is either a material weakness or a significant deficiency, and your material weakness is considered more severe than a significant deficiency. The first finding was a repeat finding of 2020, and this is a significant audit adjustment finding, which is considered a material weakness. Basically, a significant audit adjustment is a proposed correction of the basic financial statements that in our judgment may not have been detected except through our auditing procedures. We provided management with a report of these adjustments, and they have been corrected. The second finding is a payroll control finding, which is a significant deficiency, which is less severe. Basically, when we performed our internal control test over payroll, we noticed an internal control issue, and implementation of changes in pay rates. We had noted that the cause was just significant turnover, and this issue has been corrected. Something new this year is we're also required to present information on the TDA, which is a component unit presented in the Mount Holly financial statements. So we can see here that the revenues increased from 2020 of about $67,000 to $91,000 in 2021. This increase was due to occupancy taxes, which is reasonable considering that fewer people were traveling in 2020 due to COVID-19. I can also see that expenditures remained comparable from 2020 to 2021 at about $47,000. Additionally, this is the TDA fund balance, and so we can see that in 2019 there was a fund balance of about $179,000. In 2020 there was a fund balance of $198,000, and this increased in 2021 to $243,000, or about $44,000. Are there any questions?
Does council have any questions? Mr. Meadows?
Could you go to the performance indicator slide?
Yes, sir.
These are, I think, more statements than questions, but I just wanted to make the comment that the events that caused these to occur were under a different staff than we currently have in place. There was some turnover both at the finance director and the human resources director positions. So there was a significant period of time where there was kind of really no one in those positions because of circumstances, and then we had interim folks come in. So I just want to make the point that our current staff identified these issues. I think some of these were even self-reported to correct, and now we're back on the right track. So I just want to make sure that anybody that might be watching this understands that we have competent, capable staff in place currently. We just had a bit of turnover that caused some of your routine things to not occur, which is what caused both of these, if I understand them properly. That was it.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Thank you. Appreciate your time. Thank you for being here. Next is Dr. Catherine Peterson Lease, which is a dental practice. Marie Anders.
Thank you, Mayor. So the downstairs open space available for rental here in the municipal complex. One of the open spaces, council had previously received a letter of intent submitted from Dr. Casey Peterson, is a dentist, but she's known as Casey, but her name is Catherine Peterson. The proposed lease agreement is before you. This is 2,800 square feet of available rental space with right to use common areas and parking lots in common with the city and other tenants, right to have signage on the facade of the building facing East Central Avenue in keeping with our current signage of the Kinetics tenant. And the term of the lease would be 10 years. Due to the restrictions of North Carolina state law, the lease is for 10 years only, but with no option to renew. However, it has a statement that towards the end that the parties would negotiate in good faith a new lease if she was not in default. So the rental is $20.50 a square foot with 3% annual increases. And this included within the rental is common area maintenance of the exterior, interior common areas, and property insurance, which the city would pay. But Dr. Peterson would pay for her own upfit of this shell of a property downstairs right now. And she would pay for her own utilities, liability insurance, and insure her contents. She would pay a security deposit equal to first month's rent, would sign a personal guarantee because the lease is with her professional corporation. She's requesting, due to the expense of the upfit, 9 months of rent abatement, as well as a tenant improvement allowance in the amount of $75,000, which could only be used for the so-called hard costs of upfitting the property. So in other words, if she leaves her tenancy and leaves that space, these are upfits that would remain with the property and would benefit ultimately the municipal complex in the city. She could not use that spending on so-called soft costs, like the cost of a designer or an architect. So, following the requirements of state law, if City Council wishes to enter into this lease, then the next thing that you would need to do is first adopt a resolution stating that you don't need this downstairs empty space during the next 10 years, and advertise the council's intent to lease the property. And once that advertisement goes in the newspaper, then you are allowed to adopt this lease after 30 days' notice in the newspaper. So in your amended information for the agenda packet, there is a proposed motion that would meet the requirements of the state law on municipalities entering into leases if you wish to move forward with this lease.
And you, Marie, indicated this is a resolution, so it'd require a number?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I have the motion here that I can read if council wishes to move forward. Are there any questions? Okay. The motion would be Resolution 1108-2021A, motion to approve a resolution that city does not need, Mount Holly does not need approximately 2,800 square feet of rental space that is known as 410 East Central Avenue downstairs at the Mount Holly Municipal Complex during the next 10-year term, and direct the city manager to advertise the council's intent to lease this space to Catherine Ryan Peterson, DMD PA, for an initial rental of approximately $57,400 per year at the next regular meeting on December 13th, 2021 at 7 p.m. at the Mount Holly Municipal Complex. Motion by Ms. Harris, second by Ms. Shoemaker. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Motion passes. Thank you. Next, I'll need a motion to go out of our regular meeting into closed session pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11A, 3, and 5. Motion by Mr. Moore, second by Ms. Harris. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Motion passes. All right, Marie.
Thank you. I have presented you with an offer to purchase and contract to purchase the real estate at 147 East Catawba Avenue for a purchase price of $300,000. Due diligence period runs to November 30th, 2021. Settlement date on or before December 15th, 2021. An important part of this contract is that it also includes relocation costs to the seller in the amount of $27,125.62. And it also includes the right for the seller to lease back the property for no rental, but covering the costs of the property for 12 months after closing.
Need a motion to that effect. Motion by Ms. Shoemaker, second by Ms. Polish. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Motion passes. I entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by Mr. McCorkle, second by Mr. Moore. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. We are adjourned. Charles, it's been a pleasure, my friend.
Appreciate it. It's been good.
Are you coming next meeting?
Yes.
You gotta come.
I don't know, maybe I'm going to the beach.
But then, are you coming to the council Christmas dinner?
Yes.
November the 5th.
Okay.
Please,
Sunday.
come to that.
Let me see if she
That way
got
we
it.
can talk and
Okay.
you can
What?
see each other before you go.